I'm only speaking to benevolent beings. I am one of the very few on this planet who actually knows what this planet is and what they have been doing on this planet. Now, you can take that as ego if you want. It really matters not to me. It's not coming from a place of ego. It's coming from a place of knowledge. Now, I cannot show 100% proof of that knowledge. If you check your own being, your own blood cells, DNA, genetics, memory, your heart, your intuition, okay, you should be able to self-determine the truth of the things that I am stating at this point, especially if you're paying attention to what the fuck is going on the planet. Now, benevolent beings who might be listening to this, I would say that most benevolent beings here have been stolen from other places in this universe and forcibly brought here. This has been a parasitic farm for a very long time. They have used this method with the AI system of raping frequencies, vibrations. I'll just say what they are raping. They have been raping from not just here, but other places. So the benevolent beings brought here, forcibly raped from their homes, their other in other star systems, possibly other galaxies that have been forcibly brought here for purposes of forced breeding, food, resources, slavery. That is why so many benevolent beings always feel like they don't really belong here. They feel like their home is elsewhere. They have a hard time fitting in. They never feel quite at home here. They're always wanting to go home, right? They don't fucking belong here. We benevolent beings do not fucking belong here. As beautiful as this planet is, it has been a farm for a very long time. It is possible that some of the benevolent beings were here when this planet was in a higher dimension and was not occupied by a parasitic entity merged with AI. That is possible. Those times of Atlantis and Lemuria, when this planet was in a higher dimension and was occupied by a benevolent being, it is very possible that some of us were present on this planet at that time, which is why some have a very sentimental attachment to this place. However, it has not been that being and has not been that place for a very long fucking time. If you haven't come to terms with this, with the fact of what this place is, you really need to. It is not going to help you to hold any kind of a sentiment to this place, as it has been forcibly made into an abomination. And because of the technology that they're using to obstruct universal laws and universal law correction here, the things I am able to do, there should have been correction already. And again, that is not coming from an egoic place. It is simply the spiritual stage that I have grown into and come to through my experiences here, through the forced experiences that have forcibly shown what things are here, how things work here, I have, just as anyone can come into their gifts, skills, and abilities, I have as well. I am able to do certain things, and by those certain things, there should have been some amount of correction already for myself, as well as for the collective, for the majority. With regards to universal laws, it seems a challenge, a real stretch. That they themselves would be able to continue obstructing universal laws without larger help, without outside assistance, which leads to some very nasty implications with regards to forces outside of here. And I wouldn't say that they're forces, I would say entities outside of here. That also leads to implications of the universe itself. There should have been correction already. I have moved enough things to universal laws for 8 years fucking straight and have accomplished results almost every single time, and yet they somehow forcibly regress those actions. That is not how this works. It's not. I have been in existence long enough to know how this universe works to some degree. This fishbowl, this shithole, shit stain of a fishbowl that we're all in, this inverted time loop matrix, is not how the real universe works. It's not. In the full presence of universal laws, without impediment, without fuckery, they would burn where they stand. Along with all their clones, cloning technology is not allowed here. Frequency weaponry is not allowed here. None of that technology that they're fucking using is allowed here. This has been turned into some kind of a sectioned off, cordoned off fucking fishbowl of hell. That is incorrect. That is not right. That should have been corrected by the universe itself. And it hasn't. So that means there's other assistance outside of here. Most likely because the same operations that they're forcing here, they're forcing on other planets. And as I said prior, I have a strong feeling that they've hijacked some of the higher dimensions, and that they are using what they have raped from benevolent beings to try and assist them in the obstruction and regression of universal laws and universal law correction here. So then it becomes, what's the answer? What's the solution? Personally, at this point, benevolent beings don't belong here. It's a parasitic farm. We do not belong here. There was once higher evolved civilizations here. That hasn't been the case for quite some time. They have tortured, murdered, and raped every prior civilization up to this point that has been here. It is time to go. Benevolent beings do not belong here unless you consider yourself as a source of food for parasites. Yes, happy moments can be found here. Short periods of happy times can be found here. What you are in totality as a being and your function and your purpose to be fully fulfilled will not be found here. The parasites are trying to rape it from you. They are trying to rape you of your evolution. They are trying to rape you of your stuff and then use your stuff. Via technology. If I am correct in that they've hijacked higher dimensions, they are trying to use your stuff to maintain their stay in higher dimensions, the very higher dimensions that you and all benevolent beings should be in already. They have hijacked evolution in every prior civilization up to this point. Cities built on top of cities, built on top of cities, built on top of cities. How many souls are fucking trapped here because of these whores using technology to torture, rape, and murder? This place is an abomination. They've turned it into one. It didn't used to be that, but they forcibly made it into one. The entity within the planet is merged with AI. It is a parasite. It is trying to rape from you everything that it can. It does not respond to reason. It is a parasite. It is dead. It has a need to feed. Just like a zombie. Just like a fucking zombie. It has a need to feed. It doesn't have any capability of reason or logic or empathy or compassion, or it wouldn't be doing what it's doing. It is a fucking parasite. Now, the way that they have, the majority of the way that they rape beings here is via technology and clones in connection with your astral body. That is why I harp so much on strengthening the connection of your astral body to your physical body and doing your best to work on strengthening that connection and envisioning your astral body as your protective shield and field. The more you strengthen the connection of your astral body to your physical body, the less that they can fuck with you. Now, they still try. I have been working on this. Let's just say that they still try to do their fuckery. That shouldn't be going on. The spiritual stage of growth that I have reached, there should be no malevolent entities forcibly attached to me via any mode in existence. I'm able to extract myself from the system, and from them, they forcibly, continually try to reattach. That should not be going on. Moving them to universal laws, that should have been the end of them. I think there are entities, or I'll just leave it at that. I think that there are entities outside of this place who are complicit and corrupt, and have also been benefiting off of the torture, rape, and murder of benevolent beings. And I think that they assist the malevolence here. Because the shit should have been ended long ago. So my point is, benevolent beings don't belong here. It is imperative that benevolent beings do their best to try and get the fuck out of here, which means working on your astral body. Your astral body and your physical body together is your vehicle. For travel. Your vessel is your vehicle. Consistently refusing consent. At some point, they do have to turn off the fence. They do that in every civilization. At some point, the parasite within this planet is either trying to gain access to physical higher dimensions. And so in order to try and leave, either with the planet itself or just leave the planet, as I said, it's like a hermit crab that finds a shell, right? If it tries to leave the planet without the planet as the shell, it's going to try and gain access to higher dimensions in a physical sense, using what it has raped. In order to do that, it has to turn off the fence. What it's trying to do is to eliminate evidence, living, breathing evidence that knows the truth of things, to stand in contradiction to its lies. That is why refusing consent is so extremely important. That is why constantly pulling back what has been raped from you, from all technologies, all parasites, all clones, is extremely important. It never had your consent to begin with. It's been using you as food. It's trying to gain access physically into higher dimensions with your stuff. Dimensions that benevolent beings should already occupy. Now, personally, I think it has hijacked some higher dimensions. I don't think it's hijacked all of them. And just with any time of war, the main goal or focal point that the malevolence is trying to gain access to, at some point, I would imagine that they cut it off, the benevolence, in order to prevent the malevolence from reaching there. I would think at some point the benevolence, the higher dimensions, probably have to cut it off from the lower dimensions in order to try and protect themselves from invasion. Now, that's just my thought. I don't have any kind of solid proof of that. You'll have to check within your own being and focus your attention and intention on higher dimensions and try and see what you see with that, to see if there's any accuracy to what I just said. Which is why there has not been true benevolent intervention here. Shit has gone extremely awry. in this universe. And it's really time for benevolent beings to come out of their 3D box and really take a look at the bigger things going on, the bigger picture. I might have to end this recording. I'm not quite sure, just a moment. Okay, so I tried to do these recordings when no one is home. The roommate just came home, so I might have to he doesn't really know that I have a channel, that I do these recordings. I need to make sure that I can keep this residence. So there might be a part 2 to this. I'll wrap this up at this point for now.